Corey Current with B91 Entertainment News. I am here with Carnie. He is a drum and bass DJ from Fort Wayne. And how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Welcome to the Apartment Sessions. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to dig right in here. So when did you start DJing?
I want to say it was probably around 2003, 2002 is when I first bought my first set of turntables. Actually, it was about 2003. I got the 2002 Newmark Battle Pack, and then after that, I just became a vinyl junkie.
What were some of your early passions or influences?
Early passions and influences, starting off, I was really into house and trance, which is kind of a shock to most, but once I heard drum and bass, it just became my obsession.
So what are currently some of your main challenges as a DJ?
As a DJ, it's just staying progressive with technology. I wouldn't say it's the biggest challenge, but it's always trying to stay ahead of the curve, trying to keep learning this and adapt to every bit of technology that's coming our way, but it's technology is taking over.
Thanks to developments in like the realm of software, DJing, playing live and producing have moved closer together than ever before. So allowing DJs to change a track down to the tiniest detail, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you make use of those possibilities in your sets, and are they a benefit?
It has been a benefit. It has actually allowed me to do a lot more mashups live on the fly. Some of my intros, I'll take a non-drum and bass track, turn it drum and bass.
So what are currently your main challenges as a DJ?
Main challenges of a DJ is always, I want to say probably track selection, probably staying ahead of the curve. There's always new music that's coming out, so you really have to be on the ball with that. But, whenever I feel that that's been a main challenge, I just go back to my roots and just go back to the old school ways of just classics and try to infuse the classics with all the new tracks that have been coming out. So,
what do you usually start with when you're preparing for a set?
whenever I'm preparing for a set, usually I try to put a statement out there. So, for instance, I'll take a track that's not drum and bass and then turn it drum and bass. For instance, one of my favorites is Wu-Tang's Triumph. I would open up a set playing just that track, and then I would mix in drum and bass. Or even Watsky's Bet Against Me kind of sets the foundation of what I'm trying to say whenever I'm playing.
What makes you decide to play a particular record during one of your sets?
I'm going to say atmosphere. Basically, any kind of emotion that I've dealt with during that week, and then I'm about to go and perform, I just take whatever I've been doing or dealing with and just utilize that to release that on stage and just let that loose.
So do you feel like a crowd is able to appreciate the intricacies of complex DJing?
I believe that they actually do. There are times that there are people that obviously they don't focus or see that, but it's okay because it's their experience. They're the ones that are going out. That's how they choose to spend their night. But you will catch ones that are out there in the crowd that are actually studying you and watching you the entire time. Once you lock eyes with them, then you basically, while you're on the stage, you end up speaking back to them whenever you're playing just to see if you appeal to their attention and keep their attention.
So do you believe in the possibility of reading an audience?
I believe in the possibility of reading an audience. When you're a DJ for the rave scene, it's basically you are creating the overall atmosphere. Some of that is slightly carried over into the club scene, but it's two different spectrums of entertainment. There's nothing really wrong with that, but when you're reading the audience, really what you're looking for is more emotion when you're playing for more of the rave scene.
What makes a strong transition from one track to the next from your point of view, and how do you see the relative importance of establishing a flow versus creating tension through suspenseful breaks in continuity?
Basically, the number one rule is try not to train wreck. You want to make sure that your beats are matched up perfect and that it flows into the next track. Keeping that flow is, again, you're probably going to hear me say emotion a lot, but it is emotionally based. If you're playing a set, something like that, it's going to be, you don't want to be playing one track that's, political, has political lyrics over it, and then all of a sudden you're playing a love song right after that. You have to keep it going with a certain flow and a theme, so to speak. But having your beats matched up perfectly and phrasing and having everything kept in key is what keeps the flow going.
Cool. So how do you feel Is music transformed in the hands of a DJ?
Absolutely. You have the ability to sit there and manipulate whatever tracks, whatever atmosphere, whatever feel that you have at that exact precise moment. And you can manipulate that on stage for everybody else to all enjoy. And if you can actually harness that ability for that exact moment, you have everybody all at the same time in unison feeling exactly what you're feeling. That's honestly probably one of the main goals of DJing.
Wow, sounds fun. I kind of want to DJ now.
Well, look at you.
So, why do you feel the club has remained such a great place for the discovery and appreciation of electronic music?
It's a good question. The club actually, especially after probably 2003 and so on, a lot of the clubs started taking in shows like Tronic or Mayhem, Hush on Saturday nights because we are what has survived from the early rave scene. You know, we had the National Rave Act that started shutting down parties left and right, you know, whether they were legal or illegal, obviously, but the clubs opened up the doors for us so that way now we can throw shows based on our experiences of what we learned over the years and completely turn a club for one night into that complete underground rave feel. And that's what's kind of kept everything progressing and going.
And so you mentioned Tronic.
Yep.
Can you kind of explain that?
Tronic is every Thursday night at O'Sullivan's. It's been going on for about 9 years in Fort Wayne. It's for one night a week. On Thursday nights, we take this Italian-Irish pub and completely flip it into that basic underground rave feel. We have intelligent sound and lighting. We throw up, you know, underground DJs, mainly locals and regional, and occasionally we even have national and international acts that come through and play. And for one night, I mean, we show Fort Wayne what we have learned over the years.
Wow, so it's kind of, Fort Wayne's kind of become a real big hub then for DJing, drum and bass, things like that.
Drum and bass and all sorts of, all genres of the electronic music.
So how do you see the relationship between music and the space it's performed at?
Relationship between music and the space it's performed at, honestly, it's just based on the vibe of whoever the promoters or whoever is facilitating the show. I mean, because proper promoter, like production companies, can literally flip a venue to be it something completely different. The relationship between that is just based on the vibes that you bring whenever you're facilitating a show.
So what is the overall feelings that you get when you're performing?
It's a mixture of things. Sometimes it's chaos, sometimes it's confusion, sometimes I can kind of overall black out. It just depends on, like I said, whatever I've dealt with during the week. So whenever I'm playing, I'm emotion-based, so it's whatever I'm trying to let loose during that hour and a half that I'm given.
It sounds to me like you kind of use music as a therapy.
Correct.
So that's kind of what got you started in Mayhem. Would you be able to kind of explain that?
During a time, and it happened last year, it was just during a time when Fort Wayne got a little quiet. And I designed a show called Mayhem where it was used for therapeutic reasons, where, you know, everybody deals with normal human emotions. Everybody has something that's in them that they just need to let out. So I strategically book artists that deal with day-to-day problems, and they just come to my stage and they will let loose on that. And the people that come and attend will come to completely let loose of all of their negativity that they have that's built up in them, and they release it in a very safe way. I think it's just everything that we've always done in the rave scene. It's something that we've always gone to do. I mean, people go out to shows to let loose and forget about their troubles and their worries and everything that they've dealt with. This one has actually been designed for that specific reason, and it's just been 100% emotional based, and it's been real fun and therapeutic at the same time.
Where do you see Fort Wayne going in the electronic music scene?
I want to say that the answer for that is that it's honestly as blatant as it's going to be. I think it's going to go however it feels that it's going to go. Natural selection is going to take hold, and it's just going to go on based on however the younger generation and that crowd that is getting older and what they feel that Fort Wayne's going to go is what it's going to go into. Me, I'm like technically the mid-generation, and then we have the older generation. There's nothing that we can do to control that. it's the younger generation that once they're old enough to go to all these events, it's whatever they feel, it's whatever they like, they're going to take it over. And it's honestly, it's hard to predict what it's going to go into because there's all these new genres that are popping up left and right. Other generations might not like it, but it doesn't matter because it's the younger generation that's always going to take over.
So would you say that like the DJs in Fort Wayne have a like, you guys obviously probably network, right?
Correct.
Do you guys have like, how's the community, the DJ community in Fort Wayne, would you say? Is it friendly?
It's pretty friendly. Like the DJ community, especially with like, especially the ones that I interact with. I mean, I'm pretty much cool with everyone, but like, I mean, we're all a bunch of everyday people. Like we're all a bunch of goons, and we all crack jokes, and we're all just there to have a good time and just basically showcase what represents us at, as individuals or our personalities when we're on stage.
Who is your favorite DJ of all time?
Favorite DJ of all time? I mean, if we're talking international, I'm going to go with, it's a coin toss between two of them who I actually had the ability to share the stage with. It's DJ Dara and AK 1200. Now, to me, they were my godfathers of drum and bass growing up. When I was in high school, I learned about drum and bass, and I would buy their records, I would buy their CDs, I would buy anything that I can find and just listen to it. Locally, though, I want to say that my favorite DJs would be, they're not necessarily local anymore, but Nick DeFlippo is one of them. He was very inspirational to me growing up. He was part of the Noise Boys crew that originally facilitated shows back when I was younger, back in my teen years. Mad Chiller is definitely another one. He was my drum and bass DJ that I looked up to when I was younger. He'll actually be playing Mayhem June 4th, and he's headlining, so it's pretty big. And then there's Eclipse.
What are some things we can look forward to seeing you in the future?
For right now, you will catch me every Thursday at Tronic, whether I'm on the stage or behind the stage, keeping the show going, along with me and my friends, the Fort Underground Coalition. Tronic Thursdays every Thursday at O'Sullivan's. Bi-monthly, it'll be over at Skeletoons Lounge for Mayhem.
I think that's a wrap.